Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duck Bricks. I'm Chris, and on June 1st, just a few days ago, the incredible LEGO Icons Lord of the Rings Barad-dûr set released. But as a gift with purchase with the set, they actually released this Fell Beast, which I didn't actually get to review as part of my initial review, but I figured why not take a look right now at this special gift with purchase set. It's a really cool build because it actually is fully exclusive to this one gift with purchase with specialized vinyl wings, an exclusive minifigure in the form of the Ring Wraith, as well as a little bit of a structure for the beast to perch on. Now, I honestly have mixed feelings about this set. I really do hope that they will eventually do a much larger, more accurate, and more detailed Fell Beast later on as an official set. And as a GWP, this one is probably going to be one of the rarest GWPs ever due to the exclusivity of the build and the minifigures and the fact that you literally can only get it if you buy this set on opening week. So I know this GWP is already unfortunately sold out in a lot of regions, but there are some parts of the world where you can still get it, so I figured why not put out my review right now showcasing the Fell Beast from Lord of the Rings. So here is the LEGO Icons Lord of the Rings Fell Beast. It comes with 269 pieces, set number 40693, and is a gift with purchase if you bought the Barad-dûr set, and that is pretty much the only way to get this set. Which is a shame, because I know a lot of people who would have loved to see the set as even just like a $20 or $25, $30 tops release, but unfortunately will now have to either spend hundreds of dollars for it or just hope to find the exclusive pieces on Bricklink to be able to piece it together, because this is unfortunately limited as a gift with purchase. Now, setting all of that aside, I do want to just talk about the build itself and just in general describe how I feel about the set, how it's built, how accurate it is to the movie, and also showcase the minifigure included, which is exclusive to this set. So the Fell Beast itself is somewhat in the style of the LEGO Elves creatures. It's not as detailed as, say, a really nicely detailed Ninjago dragon or something we'd see from Monkey Kid, but it is fairly detailed, and I do like the amount of posability it has. You actually have it perching on bits and pieces of the ruins of a castle here, which are really cool because I don't think we've ever seen that depicted in a Lord of the Rings set before, and of course, it is actually pretty posable. One of my pet peeves about it when LEGO does smaller scale creatures is when you actually attach the legs up, sometimes they mount them on mixel joints such that you can't really articulate the legs too much, but here it avoids that problem. So you can really splay the legs outwards, you can even angle the feet on click joints here, and you can kind of have it swooping downwards, grasping something with its claws and flying out. It is just really cool the way they've done it. The tail, of course, is multi-segmented, so you can wave it back and forth on mixel joints, but you also have every single one of the individual mini ball joints articulated with a spike at the end. The wings can flap via click joints as well, so you can kind of go up and down with them. And then finally, the head itself is mounted on mini ball joints, where unfortunately the way it's mounted, you can't really have it be curving downwards just by the way the pieces work, but you can have it be curving upwards, which is a little bit more screen accurate anyways. Now, of course, posability is not perfect when it comes to this model. I absolutely would have preferred them to use mixel joints for the feet, because obviously that would have made it a lot easier to pose, especially when the legs are more splayed out, allowing you to get a more dynamic pose, but obviously that would have had compromises in stability, so I can understand why they didn't do it. It just feels like a shame that you can splay the legs outwards, but the feet themselves always have to kind of be flat on the ground, so if you splay the legs out, they're kind of on the side and looks a little bit awkward. And far as the rest of the articulation is concerned, I also do wish that the wings were mounted on mixel joints, and that one I actually feel a little more strongly about, because imagine if you had the free range of motion to move these back and forth, to kind of fold them up alongside the creature, to have them be angling in all sorts of different positions, but unfortunately they can literally only flap up and down because of the ratchet joint. Again, this was obviously done for stability. They wanted to make this easy to swing around and play with, and I do understand that, but I feel like it makes more sense for the feet. Like, I understand for the feet, you don't want to mount them on mixel joints because it's probably too much weight to mount them on. But for the wings, I feel like these are so light anyways that they definitely could have gotten away with it. But you know what? LEGO goes through a ton of quality and safety standards, so I'm sure it's something they did test and maybe just didn't work out. As far as the rest of the build is concerned, obviously there are no eyes, nothing printed, no stickers or anything like that for the creature, which is fine because if you look at it in the movie, it also doesn't really have very prominent eyes, and they did actually make a brand new set of vinyl elements for the wings, which does feel extra special, especially for a gift with purchase. Now, I know there were a lot of rumors swirling around that maybe this was designed to be included in the LEGO Icons tower itself, but they decided instead to make it into a GWP. I'm not sure if I necessarily buy into those rumors, but it does definitely feel like this certainly has more budget than a standard GWP, including not only these exclusive vinyl elements, but also an exclusive minifigure in the form of the Ring Wraith. So let's take a look at this right now. Now, I'm going to be honest, I'm a little bit mixed on the minifigure. Obviously, since the original Ring Wraith that we got all the way back in 2012, they've introduced this new style of hood, which is obviously something that fits so much better. I love the way the hood looks on the figure. It looks super good and very accurate to the movies. The sword inclusion of the slightly newer style of Tournament Night sword from collectible minifigures is also very nice, a lot more accurate to the swords in the movies, but I gotta say, the cape is a bit of a disappointment. The original Ring Wraiths in 2012 had a really nice custom cape that actually attached on 3 holes around the figure, making it actually wrap around the figure itself and kind of go over the arms, which was just so much more movie accurate and made them feel that much more special, whereas this one is just using the standard tattered cape that we've literally been getting since 2008 Fantasy Era Castle and LEGO Legend of Chima in 2013, so I definitely feel like this should have included that slightly more accurate and more menacing style of wraparound cape, although maybe I understand that would have required an additional production point in LEGO's facility, and given that this is a gift with purchase, they probably were working with super limited budget to begin with. The torso is pretty standard, honestly. It's just super simple, wrinkles on a black torso and no printing on the legs, which I think is totally fine. No printing on the head either, so really all this minifigure has is one special new print for the torso and that's it. But I think it works generally pretty good. I just hope that in future sets, if we do get Ring Wraiths, it would be really nice to actually get that older style of cape, or for LEGO to do a newer style that wraps even around more. I think that just would make this so much better as a figure. That being said, it is still a nice exclusive figure to get as a GWP. I do pity the folks trying to get a complete Lord of the Rings collection though, because again, you can only get this if you get that really large and expensive set. But otherwise, it's a pretty fun model. I definitely do feel like compromises were made on the detail, especially around the way the size should be and the way the articulation is done. It certainly is not the most detailed version of the creature we could get, but for a gift with purchase that is literally free if you buy Barad-dûr, this is not bad. I do think there are a lot of things that could be improved if they ever do decide to make it a larger set. I think having fabric wings would look really good to really capture that tattered wing element. It would be also super cool to actually get a lot more detail in the neck and posability of the legs. It feels a little robotic with the way the click hinges are set up, and while it is cool to get this as a free gift, I really hope that doesn't mean we won't ever see one as an actual set, because this is just too cool of a concept to not be made into a much larger LEGO build. That's all for this set. The only big complaint I do have about it is that it is locked behind a GWP. I don't really understand why LEGO is thinking Lord of the Rings should only be a theme that gets gigantic sets once a year. Maybe the market isn't there for smaller sets, but I personally would love it if Lord of the Rings just got a suite of just regular sets. Make it a normal play theme like we used to get in 2012 and 2013, and I guarantee people are gonna be interested. But alas, this is just a small look at what could be a modern LEGO Lord of the Rings set. That's all there is to say about this one. I hope you enjoyed this special look at the LEGO Icons Fell Beast from Lord of the Rings, and here's hoping we got more Lord of the Rings sets in the future. I know I've got my fingers crossed for Minas Tirith next year. Alright, and with that, we have summed up our look at the Lord of the Rings Fell Beast. Special thanks to the LEGO Ambassador Network for sending me over this set, because I was a little worried I wasn't going to be able to get it, because they did send me the major tower to review, but I'm glad I was able to showcase it to you right now. This is a really cool build, and definitely would recommend if you ever get a chance to check this out and maybe try to piece it together yourself and try to find the vinyl wings on Bricklink. This is a really fun thing to put together, albeit, as I said in the review, a little bit small, and some of the details just aren't quite captured. That's all for this review. Hope you enjoyed, and thanks so much for tuning into Duck Bricks. Bye for now.